I don't know, everybody. I feel kind of lied to by Nintendo. I feel a bit bait and switched. I feel kind of like they got my hopes way up and now they've come crashing down. But it's still a good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. You cannot kill my positivity, Nintendo, even if you absolutely tried to make something super, super crazy looking and cool looking, and then, well, we'll get there. But what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We also have some review scores to discuss, new Switch games that have dropped, and the big lie, as I like to call it. But I want to know what y'all think, because I think maybe we're going to have different takes on this. At least some of you are probably still excited. Me, on the other hand, though, I feel like this was not it. But let's kick it off with Nintendo World Championships review scores. The NES edition of this minigame Bonanza drops tomorrow, Thursday, July 18th, and it got a 73 on Metacritic. Many praising it for being super fun locally, but a slight package that isn't going to last you a super long time, and that makes sense. There really isn't any campaign content to speak of. It doesn't seem like the online is very fleshed out, and this is a $30 game overall. So I think in terms of value to review score, a 73 is pretty solid for a $30 Nintendo game. Now, one area that I'm going to have to investigate for myself is the fact that they say the online leaderboards are basically non-existent, which seems criminal to me. How are you going to make a game all about score chasing, all about competing, and then have it not have the most simple, obvious, easy to implement of online features? So I'll have to check that out for myself, but they're saying the games are really fun, the competition is super fierce, and locally it is like a fantastic party game if you have people that like or remember or enjoy the NES classics, which I do. So this seems like a great fit for me. It's not going to rock the world or rock the boat of anybody that wasn't into it from the trailers, but it is a cool little package and a nice different type of game that is arriving here in the summer. Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is a Turtles roguelite that people initially brushed off because it's on Apple Arcade, but it's getting a lot of really good marks on Nintendo Switch. It's got a 74 right now, and they're saying this is a less polished Hades with Turtles. Honestly, that doesn't sound too terrible. Hades probably still will be king of the castle, but can the Turtles at least come in and carve out their own spot? That's all I ask for. A cooperative, Switch-based, Turtles-based roguelite that is fun to play with interesting, cool combat and upgrades. I've seen some people say that the performance isn't the best, which is a bit of a bummer. But I've also seen people say this is one of the best Turtle games to be made in recent memory, which is pretty darn cool. And they're saying the co-op is great, and I think that's what you want, right? So you're wanting good gameplay, you're wanting good co-op, and you're wanting Hades, but maybe not as good as Supergiant Games could do, and I think that's understandable because those are kind of the people at the top of the heap when it comes to this kind of design. Now, let's speak about Nintendo's design to get us all worked up about Meo. Look, I find this frustrating, and maybe I'm one of one on this. Maybe everybody's excited by how this turned out, but I'm going to give you my straight up opinion without any filtering. I think this sucks. I thought Meo was going to be this brand new Nintendo Switch franchise, Nintendo doing this horror thing. It's getting creepy, it's getting weird, it's getting bizarre, and they've got sort of this live action 15-second teaser of this spooky guy with gross fingers and a smiley face mask on. That seems pretty cool. It seems completely about face from what Nintendo has been putting out as of late, and it seems like it could be something that has a wholly different appeal compared to Nintendo's output in terms of the rest of the genres they're attacking. The party genre, the platformer genre, the Mario and Luigi genre, which is just ever present on Nintendo, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but this was a chance to do something very different, and instead it's kind of a chance for them to do something very much the same, because Meo is actually a Famicom Detective Club game, which in one way is really nifty because, hey, this is a franchise that has no business existing in 2024, and yet it's thriving in 2024. So Meo The Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club is a brand new game dropping August 29th this year for $50, and it's all about Meo, the Smiling Man, a killer of urban legend who is said to play such a bag over his victims' heads. Now, we have the Famicom Detective Club original titles, the 2-pack, on Nintendo Switch that came out a while back, and so getting a chance to revitalize and revisit this franchise is in some ways remarkable. It's in some ways doing things that we always want game companies to do, where they make something super freaking cool out of something that is from a time forgotten, from a franchise that, you don't think was really going to be like a big AAA money-making franchise that they greenlight in the modern era, but boom, they bring it back. And I'll give the flowers to Nintendo for this. It seems like they are very excited about it. They have an entire video with Yoshio Sakamoto, who is going through why he's excited about this, bringing it back. Pretty nifty from like a nostalgia historical standpoint, but from a marketing standpoint, man, they got us good. And I guess it's like what this could have been was so thrilling to me. Nintendo has not really invested in a brand new franchise much at all this generation. Despite all the money and the success that they've accrued via the Switch, there's ARMS. And there's ARMS. And ARMS was ARMS. I mean, ARMS is really fun. I don't think ARMS should be poo-pooed, but ARMS was not the second coming. ARMS was not a major Nintendo franchise that's going to get a lot of follow-ups. Nintendo then, after that, didn't really invest in anything else. They brought us great sequels, a lot of awesome evolutionary games, some major titles in franchises that we know and love and have become the beloved best entries in those franchises, but in 7 years to not really get much new and then have a tease for a brand new IP, and it ended up being kind of like a 20-year-old IP, which is bonkers in some ways. Like, I don't know, it just feels bad to me. I think Nintendo should invest in new IP for as strong as Mario and Luigi and Zelda and Link and these characters, now the Inklings and everybody else in their Mushroom Kingdom menagerie is. Maybe it's time to introduce somebody new. Maybe it's time to pay attention to like building a new face, a new mascot, a new character, a new franchise. And I feel like this generation was the perfect time to do it. And maybe ARMS spooked them because it started off and didn't deliver exactly how they were expecting. But sometimes you got to try 2, 3, 4 times to hit a home run. And that's okay. If you bat, 1 out of 3, you're still doing amazing in baseball and in video games. So Nintendo should definitely try to make another new franchise, one per generation. Feels kind of silly. I thought this could have been it, and I guess like my imagination for Meo becoming something brand new and like a weird era for Nintendo where they're becoming experimental with horror and mature-rated games. Like, this is still a mature-rated game. It just feels, I don't know. To me, a visual novel, even if it is tapping into a cool franchise from the past, it just feels like it wasn't even big enough to put in the direct, Like, at the end of the day, they're kind of revealing how they feel about this because they could have put it in their June direct. It's out in August, it's out in a month, and they didn't even feel like it was worth putting in their show, but they really got us with the MEOTs, which was smart, but I feel stupid. I feel a little embarrassed that I thought it was going to be something, super cool. And yet, at the end of the day, Samus Hunter was right. This is a freaking Famicom Detective Club game, a visual novel with mystery and murder, which might be very cool, might be very nice, but the voiceover is in Japanese. The text can be in English. I don't know. I'm not a visual novel fan, so this game is not made for me. I don't really enjoy games that don't have a lot of gameplay, and these kind of stories, like, I don't know. In my current state, I just don't find them to be that engaging to me. Now, maybe this will blow us away and be the greatest visual novel ever written, and I'll have to pay attention to it. But right now, I would much rather use my money on Echoes of Wisdom, or on Brothership, or on Super Mario Party Jamboree. I will note there is a collector's edition with a creepy bag. It's got the freaking bag thing, it looks like, so you can, I don't know, cut it out and put it on, which is really kind of freaky. Maybe it's just like a picture of it. It kind of looks like you could cut it out. I'm not sure. It seems like the physical edition, the collector's edition, is only going to be released in Japan for right now, maybe eventually in America, but there is going to be a physical version of this game in the States. I do know that, which is pretty nifty. But I think overall, this was just like a misstep for Nintendo. To do something that got people talking is exactly what marketing's all about. But in my mind, like, anytime Nintendo does something like this again, I'm just going to believe it's going to be a letdown. Like, I'm not going to think, oh, maybe they have a crazy cool new franchise. Maybe they're really branching out and trying a totally different genre. Maybe they're going to go super mature and make something that we would never expect an internal Nintendo studio to design. But it's like, no, it was just like a really, really clever marketing move for a game that I don't think can market itself. Like, again, no offense to Famicom Detective Club, but this coming out as a Famicom Detective Club game with a trailer probably gets 1/10 of the talk as it does being Meo The Smiling Man, a spooky teaser with no explanation, tons of mystery, and a live action video as opposed to, the animated style of this game in its actual state. So Meo is a marketing move, and that's great, but to me it feels a bit like a stab. So Meo is a marketing move, and that's fine and dandy. It's what marketing exists for, but to me that feels like it was a little bit too far on the edge of this is really exciting, and then we're brought way back down to earth. It's like if they were teasing a brand new big Mario game, and then they ended up giving you like a Game & Watch. In fact, I think they did that with Zelda once, and it was quite disappointing. So Nintendo, maybe they're not too foreign from this type of idea where they have a big announcement and then it really isn't all that it's cracked up to be. I don't know. I mean, yay that we're filling out the calendar and getting an August game. Yay that this year is so diverse in terms of the titles they're releasing. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, Meo The Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, Nintendo World Championships, Super Princess Peach, Showtime. You got all these games, Mario and Luigi, like they are really attacking a bunch of genres. Might not be the like super horror first person modern era genre, but they are attacking genres, and that's why, like I said, I do appreciate Nintendo for tapping back into something that many other companies, many other publishers, many other platform holders would say has no business existing in this day and age. So Nintendo, you're doing a great job there, but like, I personally have no interest in this game, and all I can speak for is myself. I got real exciting by their MEOTs, and I think that at the end, they're not leaving me smiling, they're leaving me kind of becoming the frowning man. But let me know what you think. Are you excited about Meo? Do you think it's cool that Nintendo is bringing Famicom Detective Club back? Because I do, but are you going to play it? At the end of the day, are you going to spend $50 on this? Because it's a cool gesture and it's kind of fun to think, but are you going to drop the money? Are you going to pick this up? Are you going to add this to your gaming calendar? Are you going to replace something else you were planning on buying with Meo? And do you feel like maybe the marketing was too far this way for a game that's maybe too far this way? I don't know. I'd love to hear your take in the comments down below. I'm just one person, but that's my take. So until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce out.